There is no secret formula, no trick, no magic words. Attraction is not something you chase, it is something you become. Today we talk about what makes a man truly magnetic, not just to women, but to life itself. Listen closely. A man who masters himself masters the world. Everything begins with self-mastery. Without it, a man is at the mercy of his emotions, his impulses, and the opinions of others. He is reactive rather than proactive, swayed by external forces instead of standing firm in his own values. And nothing is more repelling than a man who lacks control over himself. Consider this. When a man cannot govern his emotions, he becomes unpredictable in the worst way. He is easily angered, easily shaken, easily manipulated. He says things he regrets, makes decisions based on fleeting feelings, and allows external circumstances to dictate his state of mind. Women instinctively avoid such a man, not out of cruelty, but because instability is a liability. It signals weakness, and weakness, in the natural order of things, is dangerous. A man who cannot control himself cannot be trusted to lead, to provide, or to protect, but the man who possesses self-mastery, he is different. He is unshaken by insults, unaffected by setbacks, and unmoved by temporary emotions. He does not allow anger, jealousy, or insecurity to control his actions. Instead, he responds to life with deliberate intention. He is measured, composed, and thoughtful. He does not react. He chooses his response. This kind of man is rare, and because he is rare, he is valuable. Women, and people in general, are drawn to him not because he forces attraction, but because he embodies something that is universally respected: discipline. When you see a man who is disciplined, you see a man who can be relied upon, a man who can be trusted, a man who is strong not just in body but in mind. Self-mastery extends beyond just emotions. It is the ability to control desires, to delay gratification, to focus on long-term goals rather than seeking immediate pleasure. Most men are slaves to their urges. They indulge in distractions, chase temporary highs, and avoid discomfort. But a man who masters himself refuses to be ruled by fleeting impulses. He knows that true power lies in restraint. Imagine a man who works tirelessly toward his vision, who is not deterred by setbacks, who does not need external validation to feel worthy. He does not beg for attention, does not seek approval, does not crave constant reassurance. He knows his own worth, and because he knows it, others recognize it too. He becomes a force of nature, steady, unmovable, and deeply attractive. Self-mastery is also about presence. A man who is present in the moment, who listens without distraction, who gives his full attention to whatever is in front of him. He commands respect without trying. Most men are scattered, consumed by worries, lost in thoughts of the past or anxieties about the future. But a man who has mastered himself is fully present, and presence in its purest form is power. When a man truly embodies self-mastery, he does not need to chase. Women, opportunities, respect, they come to him naturally. Why? Because he represents something stable, something rare, something undeniable. He is not swayed by emotions, not controlled by impulses, not desperate for validation. He stands firm, and in doing so, he attracts. The world respects the man who governs himself, and the world disregards the man who is ruled by his emotions and desires. If you want to be the kind of man that others admire, that women are drawn to, that stands above the rest, master yourself first. Nothing else will serve you more. Confidence is not loud. It does not demand attention, nor does it seek approval. True confidence is quiet, firm, and unshakable. It is the deep-rooted understanding that a man does not need to prove his worth. He simply embodies it. When a man walks with this kind of certainty, the world responds to him differently. Women notice, men respect. But most importantly, he himself no longer looks outward for validation because he has found everything he needs within. Most men misunderstand confidence. They mistake arrogance for strength, believing that boasting, showing off, or dominating conversations will earn them respect. But arrogance is insecurity in disguise. It is the need to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be validated by others. A truly confident man, however, does not seek such things. He does not need to prove his value because he already knows it. He does not need to announce his presence because his energy speaks for itself. A man with quiet confidence does not shrink in the face of challenge. He does not flinch when met with resistance. He trusts himself, his abilities, and his decision. And even when he is uncertain, he does not let doubt control him. He moves forward regardless. This is the kind of confidence that cannot be faked, because it is built through action, through discipline, through facing hardship and coming out stronger on the other side. A confident man is not afraid to be alone. He does not need constant companionship to feel whole. He is comfortable in silence, at ease in solitude. He does not fill his time with distractions or meaningless pursuits just to avoid being with his own thoughts. Instead, he cultivates his mind, sharpens his skills, and strengthens his resolve. And because he is content within himself, he does not seek relationships out of desperation or need. He chooses them from a place of strength. Women are drawn to this kind of confidence because it signals security. A man who does not seek approval, who does not beg for attention, who does not crumble under pressure. This is a man they can trust. He is not easily rattled, not easily manipulated, not easily swayed by the opinions of others. He does not ask, "Am I good enough?" He knows he is. Confidence is not about appearance, status, or wealth. Those things can amplify confidence, but they do not create it. A man can have all the money in the world and still be insecure. He can be physically strong yet weak in character. Real confidence is built from within. It comes from experience, from hardship, from pushing past fear. It is forged through struggle, through failure, through perseverance. A man who has never been tested cannot possess true confidence because he has never seen what he is capable of overcoming. Many men wait for confidence to come before they take action. They think they must feel ready, feel fearless, feel powerful before they move forward. But this is a mistake. Confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you build through action. You step forward, even when you are unsure. You face discomfort, even when it is easier to retreat. Every time you push through fear, every time you make a decision without hesitation, every time you prove to yourself that you can handle difficulty, you strengthen your confidence. A truly confident man does not fear rejection. He does not crumble when faced with disapproval. He understands that not everyone will like him, and that is fine. He does not seek to please everyone because he does not need everyone's approval to feel worthy. He stands firm in who he is, knowing that those who respect him will stay, and those who do not were never meant to. The world bends to the man who walks with quiet, unshakable confidence. He does not need to chase opportunities come to him. He does not need to prove his presence speaks for itself. A man who trusts himself, who stands firm in his decisions, who does not waver in the face of uncertainty, this is the man who commands respect, and in doing so, he becomes undeniable. Life will test you. It will throw challenges in your path, break things you thought were unbreakable, and push you to your limits. No man is exempt from hardship. No man walks through life untouched by pain, loss, or disappointment. The difference between men lies in how they respond to these trials. Some allow hardship to weaken them, to make them bitter, to break their spirit. Others use it to become stronger, more disciplined, more resilient. The choice is always yours. Emotional resilience is not about ignoring pain or pretending that struggle does not exist. It is about acknowledging difficulty and moving forward regardless. It is about feeling disappointment but refusing to be defined by it. A man who is emotionally resilient does not crumble when things go wrong. He does not let failure destroy his sense of self. Instead, he learns, adapts, and grows. This kind of strength is rare, and because it is rare, it is deeply attractive. Women, and people in general, gravitate towards stability. They are drawn to those who can remain composed under pressure, who can face adversity without falling apart. A man who lacks emotional resilience is unpredictable. One moment he is confident and driven, the next he is lost in self-doubt, frustration, or despair. He allows external events to dictate his emotions, which makes him unreliable. And an unreliable man is not one who can be trusted. A strong man, however, does not let circumstances control him. He understands that life is full of setbacks, but he does not see them as personal attacks. He does not waste time complaining about what is unfair. He does not allow himself to be consumed by self-pity. Instead, he takes responsibility for his reaction to every situation. He understands that while he may not control what happens to him, he always controls how he responds. Emotional resilience is built through hardship. No man develops true strength by living an easy life. It is through struggle that a man learns what he is capable of. Every difficulty, every setback, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to grow. Weak men avoid hardship, seeking comfort at all costs. They run from pain, numbing themselves with distractions, addictions, or excuses. But the man who embraces difficulty, who faces it head-on, who refuses to let it break him, he becomes something unshakable. This kind of man does not panic in times of crisis. He does not lash out in anger when things do not go his way. He does not become desperate when faced with loss. He remains composed, thinking clearly, acting with purpose, rather than reacting impulsively. This composure is powerful. It creates a sense of security that others can rely on. Women especially are drawn to this kind of strength because it represents safety. A man who can handle life's challenges without being overwhelmed by them is a man who can be counted on. Building emotional resilience requires discipline. It requires the ability to step back from a situation and observe it without being consumed by emotion. It requires training your mind to remain calm, even in the midst of chaos. When something goes wrong, do not react immediately. Take a breath, assess the situation. Ask yourself, what is within my control? What is the next best step? This ability to remain logical under pressure is what separates weak men from strong ones. A man who is emotionally resilient does not take things personally. He does not let rejection, failure, or criticism shake his confidence. He understands that setbacks are part of the process, that they do not define him. If a woman rejects him, he does not see it as a reflection of his worth. If he fails at something, he does not spiral into self-doubt. He learns, adjusts, and moves forward. Strength is not about avoiding emotions but mastering them. It is about knowing when to express them and when to set them aside for a greater purpose. It is about not allowing temporary feelings to dictate permanent actions. A man who lets his emotions control him is like a ship without a captain, drifting, directionless, vulnerable to every passing storm. But a man who controls his emotions? He is the captain, steering his life with intention, no matter how rough the waters get. The world belongs to the man who can remain steady when everything around him is uncertain. A man who refuses to be shaken by failure, who faces adversity with calm determination, who never lets hardship break his spirit. This is a man who commands respect. He does not collapse under pressure, he thrives in it. And because of this, he becomes the kind of man others look to for guidance, for strength, for leadership. This is the kind of man who cannot be ignored. A man without purpose is a man adrift. He moves through life aimlessly, easily swayed by distractions, desires, and the expectations of others. He wakes up each day without direction, filling his time with meaningless activities, seeking validation in temporary pleasures, never building anything of real value. He may chase women, attention, or material success, but none of it will bring him lasting fulfillment. And those who observe him, especially women, sense this emptiness. A man with a purpose, however, is different. He walks with intention. His actions are deliberate, his mind focused. He does not waste time on things that do not serve his mission. He has a goal, a vision that is bigger than himself. This makes him rare, and because he is rare, he is valuable. Women, whether they realize it or not, are drawn to a man with purpose, not because of his specific ambition, but because of the qualities it creates in him. A man with purpose is disciplined. He does not seek constant entertainment or indulge in laziness. He works towards something meaningful, something that fuels him. This makes him independent. He does not rely on others to give his life meaning. He creates his own. A man with purpose is also confident, not the false confidence of arrogance, but the quiet assurance of someone who knows where he is going. He does not need to seek approval because he is too focused on his path to care about meaningless opinions. He does not get lost in self-doubt because his purpose gives him direction. Even when he faces failure, he adjusts and keeps moving forward. This kind of man does not make a woman the center of his world. He values her, respects her, but he does not revolve his life around her. He does not put her on a pedestal, does not seek her validation, does not let her presence or absence define him. Women are naturally drawn to this because it signals strength. A man who has a mission does not act out of desperation. He does not beg for attention or chase affection, and because he does not chase, he attracts. A purpose-driven man also commands respect from other men. When he speaks, people listen, not because he demands their attention, but because his actions have proven that he is serious. He is not a man of empty words. He follows through. He does what he says he will do. This reliability, this consistency is what separates him from the average man who drifts through life without discipline or direction. Finding purpose is not about following passion. It is about committing to something greater than yourself. Passion is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. Purpose is deeper. It is the thing that keeps you going when motivation fades. It is the thing that gives you strength when obstacles arise. It is the thing that makes hardship worthwhile. A man who has found his purpose does not need external motivation. His drive comes from within. A man without purpose fills his time with distractions. He scrolls endlessly through his phone, plays video games for hours, wastes nights chasing temporary pleasure. He is always looking for something to occupy him because he has nothing meaningful to build. And when he looks back on his life, he wonders where the time went, why he feels empty despite all the things he has pursued. But a man with purpose, he wakes up with a reason to move. He does not waste his time because he understands its value, that he invests in himself, his mind, his body, his craft. He does not run from difficulty because he knows that struggle is part of growth. Every challenge he faces strengthens him, making him more capable, more resilient. He does not seek comfort, he seeks progress. A purpose-driven man does not fear being alone. He understands that solitude is where mastery is built. He does not need constant companionship because he is too busy creating, building, and improving. And because of this, when he does choose to let someone into his life, it is not out of loneliness, but out of strength. He does not need anyone to complete him because he is already whole. The world bends to the man who knows where he is going. He does not wait for permission, does not seek validation, does not hesitate. He moves forward, and in doing so, he inspires others to follow. Women do not resist this kind of man because he represents something rare: stability, direction, and purpose. This is the man who stands apart. This is the man who cannot be ignored. Most men live in a state of quiet desperation, constantly seeking something outside themselves to fill the void. They cling to relationships, chase approval, and attach their self-worth to things beyond their control. Money, status, or the affection of a woman. This attachment weakens them. It makes them anxious, reactive, and dependent. A man who cannot let go is a man who has already lost. But the man who has mastered the art of detachment, he is free. He does not need anything or anyone to complete him. He enjoys what comes into his life but does not cling to it. He does not beg for love, does not fear loss, does not seek validation. He remains centered, knowing that everything is temporary: people, circumstances, even his own emotions. This detachment makes him powerful, and because he is powerful, he becomes deeply attractive. Detachment does not mean indifference. It does not mean coldness or a lack of care. It means knowing that you do not own anything in this world, not people, not possessions, not even your own desires. It means enjoying things fully but never becoming enslaved by them. A man who is detached loves deeply, but he does not make love his identity. He succeeds, but he does not tie his self-worth to success. He experiences loss, but he does not let loss break him. This kind of man is rare. Most men, when faced with rejection, failure, or hardship, crumble. They obsess over what they have lost, dwell on the past, and sink into self-pity. They cannot let go, and because they cannot let go, they suffer. They become desperate, and desperation is repelling. But the man who can walk away, the man who does not grasp, the man who remains whole no matter what he loses, he becomes. A woman senses when a man is detached. She can feel when he is not desperate for her approval, when he does not fear her absence, when he does not need her to feel complete. And this is deeply attractive. Most men place a woman at the center of their universe, adjusting their entire lives to please her. This weakens them. A man who is willing to walk away, who does not fear losing someone, who remains unshaken no matter what, this is the man who keeps a woman's respect. Detachment also applies to success and failure. A man who is too attached to success fears risk. He becomes paralyzed by the possibility of failure, afraid to take action because he cannot bear the thought of losing. But the detached man? He moves forward without fear. He knows that failure is part of the process. He understands that no outcome defines him. He plays the game of life boldly because he is not emotionally enslaved by the results. Detachment is the ability to control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Most men react to life like a leaf in the wind, easily swayed, completely dependent on external circumstances. If things go well, they feel good. If things go wrong, they spiral into despair. But a detached man, he remains steady. He does not ride the highs too high, nor does he sink too low. He enjoys success, but does not become arrogant. He faces failure, but does not lose confidence. He remains balanced, no matter what happens. To develop detachment, a man must practice self-discipline. He must teach himself to walk away from things that do not serve him, to let go of what he cannot control, to remain centered even in uncertainty. This requires strength. It is easy to cling. It is easy to depend on others for happiness. But true power comes from within. A man who masters detachment becomes unshakable. He does not chase, he does not beg, he does not fear losing anything because he knows that no external thing defines him. Women respect this kind of man because he is rare. He is not easily influenced, not easily controlled, not easily broken. He stands firm in himself, knowing that he is enough, and because of this, he never lacks. A man who lacks discipline is a man who lacks control. He drifts through life, pulled in every direction by his impulses, his desires, and the distractions of the world. He says he wants success, yet he cannot focus. He says he wants to improve, yet he refuses to sacrifice comfort. He dreams of a better life, yet every day he indulges in the same behaviors that keep him stagnant. Without discipline, a man is nothing more than a slave to his cravings, to his emotions, to his weaknesses. But a disciplined man, he is dangerous in the best way possible. He is a force, moving with intention, acting with purpose, and living by his own design rather than reacting to the world around him. Women, whether they realize it or not, are drawn to this kind of man because discipline is a direct reflection of strength. It shows that a man has control over himself, that he is capable of delaying gratification, that he is building something beyond the fleeting pleasures of the moment. Discipline is the foundation of confidence. A man who keeps the promises he makes to himself, who follows through on his commitments, who does the hard things even when he does not feel like it. This is a man who trusts himself. And self-trust is the essence of true confidence. A man who cannot trust himself, who constantly makes excuses, who is ruled by his feelings, will never walk with the same level of certainty as a man who has forged himself through discipline. Most men fail not because they lack talent, intelligence, or potential, but because they lack the discipline to see things through. They start projects but never finish. They set goals but never stay consistent. They chase excitement but avoid the work required to build something meaningful. This is why disciplined men rise while others stagnate. They do what needs to be done even when it is difficult, even when it is boring, even when no one is watching. A disciplined man also commands respect, not just from women, but from other men. He stands apart because he is reliable. He is not swayed by temptation, not controlled by weakness, not easily distracted. He is steady, focused, and capable. People trust him because he has proven, through action, that he is dependable. Women respect him because he does not waver in the face of difficulty. Discipline extends to all areas of life: physical, mental, emotional, and financial. A man who is disciplined takes care of his body. He does not abuse it with laziness, poor diet, or lack of movement. He pushes himself physically, understanding that strength is built through resistance, through struggle, through effort. A weak body reflects a weak mind. And a man who neglects his own health cannot claim to be in control of his life. Discipline also means mastering the mind. A man must be able to control his thoughts, to push through discomfort, to resist the urge to give up when things become difficult. Most men let their emotions dictate their actions. They wait until they feel motivated. They give up when things become inconvenient. They allow doubt to paralyze them. But a disciplined man moves forward regardless. He does not wait for the perfect moment, he creates it. He does not wait for permission, he takes action. Women sense the difference between a man who is disciplined and a man who is weak. They may not be able to explain it, but they feel it. A disciplined man is stable. He does not crumble under pressure. He does not make excuses. He does not need constant reassurance. He is secure in himself because he has earned his own respect through consistent effort. Many men look for shortcuts. They search for quick fixes, instant gratification, the easy path. But the truth is, there is no substitute for discipline. It is the single greatest determining factor in a man's success, in his self-respect, in the way the world perceives him. A disciplined man does not seek comfort, he seeks growth. He does not avoid hardship, he embraces it. A man who has mastered discipline does not chase, he attracts. He does not beg for respect, he commands it. He does not look for external validation, he already knows his worth. And this makes him unstoppable.